So we had a wonderful journey so far, right? But it is only possible because we have a plane to travel. And the plane needs a leadership to maintain the plane in its mint condition, and always it should be ready to take off. And that plane is Electronics City Toastmasters Club. And the leadership team is our ex-com members. To explain the importance of the club leadership and to announce the election for the next leadership, we have our senior club member, seasoned corporate leader, the mentor, guide, backbone of our club, and without whom we cannot probably imagine the Electronic City Toastmaster Club, our distinguished Toastmaster, Arun Ramarathnam. Everyone, please give a big round of applause to DTM Arun Ramarathnam, please.
First of all, thank you for that.
The stage is all yours, DTM Arun Ramarathnam.
Thank you for that lovely introduction. But I must say that if you can't imagine the club without me, I've failed in my duty as a mentor. Because the role of a mentor is to be able to run a club in a way that the club will run well, much, and long after the mentor is gone from the screen. So in that sense, I would encourage all of you to work with that in mode, but I'm happy to be around and be of any assistance. With that in mind, I would request a timer to time me for like 12 minutes, 9, 10, and 12. So that close by, I'll try to see if we can fit it into 10, but it's more a function of what you have to ask. I have in front of me the challenge of making all of you open up your minds and think about what is in it for you about leadership in Toastmasters, and why should you care at all, right? I see about 7, 8 people on camera. I'm just going to request the rest of you, if you can just indulge me and kindly come on camera for about maybe 8, 9 minutes. I'll try and land the plane faster, because there's more fun when you actually get to see people. And that's something we all miss in the online meetings. A lot of people complain and say, online meetings are boring because I don't get the same effect. But how would we get the effect? We can't see you. Because in the real world, I can turn around in the room and look 360 degrees and see who's there and what they are thinking as you're speaking. Ask Toastmaster Sudesh, the joy that you have as a public speaker is to actually be able to look in the eye of the audience and wonder what they're thinking and whether they're on the ride with you as such. We have about 20 people on camera. That's so nice. Another 5, 7 people, if you can come, it'll be nice. Otherwise, I'll get started with what I'm going to be sharing with you. Okay. So we're all here in Toastmasters. I'd just like this to be an interactive session. So can the moderator please unmute all mics so that we can have an interactive session so people can respond rather than use emoticons. For the next 10 minutes, you're in a real meeting, so you speak. No emoticons, please. The only emoticons I accept are the changes in the expressions of your faces. And that would be lovely. Okay. Now, how many of you join Toastmasters to be a better speaker? Raise your hands. Okay, that's a good number of people. How many of you joined Toastmasters and you are already leaders at work? As in, you're already a leader at work. How many of you? Okay, that's about 20% of the room. Okay, so what it means is the rest of the 80% in the room are not leaders at work. And that's a very important input for you to keep in mind. How many of you joined Toastmasters to be a leader in Toastmasters when you joined us? Right? Not too many people, right? So most people join Toastmasters with the idea of being a powerful speaker, someone who would wow anyone in the audience and have them to rapt attention so that you can be a better influence.
DTM Arun,
sorry
you're
about that. That was my broadband, and the backup broadband kicked in. So most of you joined Toastmasters with the idea of being excellent public speakers. And here we are having a session. Someone's coming and telling you why you should consider. Am I not audible? Am I audible?
You are audible, Arun, but your voice is not too clear. It breaks in the middle. Arun, would you like to take a check on your internet and we could come back to the session, because this is one session that we're all eagerly waiting. Shall we proceed with the other sections and then we come back? In the meantime, you could check on your network.
Am
Would
I
that be
audible
okay?
now?
You are.
Okay, is it better? Clearer?
It's clearer, yes.
Okay, God bless Satan. All right. So here I am standing in front of you, asking you, trying to persuade you to take up leadership, which is something you just didn't seem to have signed up for. Everyone in the room said, I came here for public speaking and to be a better communicator. And 20% of you are already doing leadership at work. So here is my pitch to you. As someone who joined Toastmasters in pretty much the same frame, where I was a leader before, I was a communicator before, and I still joined Toastmasters. So I'm going to tell you why you should consider leadership in the club or elsewhere, because area director roles are open for the giving, and why that would actually shape your lives better, not just as a speaker, but also at your work and your homes, right? So that's just a thought that I have for you. Now, for those of you who have been at work and are leaders already, can you just raise your hands, please? And I just have a question for you. What is the hardest thing that you face at work as a leader? If something goes wrong, what happens? Any one of you, could you speak?
To persuade people, to make them
No, I'm
believe.
not asking what is the hardest thing. You have failed on something that you took up. What happens at work?
Feedback, learn from that mistake, try not to happen in the future.
Does it affect your promotions, your appraisals, your increments? It does, right? People start talking about it. The nice thing about Toastmasters is that you can try leadership with no risk. The reason is that even if you fail, there are people who are there to help you through the journey. There's no one who's going to be vindictive. They will be supportive, they will be suggestive, and they will probably extend the helping hand. But if you're at work, there's always people competing with each other. And the chances are you're making your first Everest climb in that role that you are doing, and someone is actually trying to pull you back or playing politics because they don't want you to succeed. So the fundamental reason why you must try leadership in Toastmasters is that you get to learn, try out skills without the fear of failing, and that you're not going to have a hostile environment working against you when you play a leadership role. So no matter whether you're a GM, whether you're a manager, you're whatever, this is a wonderful experimentative playground for you to learn skills, which you can take back and apply at work. You can take back and apply at home. And that's something that is going to be very different. The second reason why leadership in Toastmasters is very different, let me ask the 4 or 5 people again who are managers. What is the authority that you have when you are a manager at work? Anyone, quickly? Kavina?
Authority is to manage people in projects.
Yes, what is the authority you have?
Not much, because we have the hierarchy in place. So there's always.
But you do have people's
boss.
appraisals in your hand, right, Kavina? You have the appraisal.
Yes.
And you sign off their increment. So that's power, isn't it? So you perform well, you give away goodies. In Toastmasters, It is 3 times harder to lead than it is at work. The reason being, at work, you have authority. In Toastmasters, the only thing that you have is the ability to influence people, the ability to be a leader that people like and want to work with. You don't have that authority to say, if you don't perform well, or if you perform well, you can't give them an increment. You can buy them a chai at best, right? Or you can pat them, you can appreciate them. That's all you have. So therefore, it's easier to achieve things at work than it is to achieve at Toastmasters. And why should you then take up this tough challenge, which is 3 times harder than leadership at work? The reason is very simple. If you can scale this pinnacle of working without authority and you can lead, when you go back to work and suddenly you have that power with you, you can actually influence people without that authority, and you will be that much more effective. Very few people think about this, that this is the truth. You ask anyone who was running Crescendo, they would tell you the only thing that they could do to get the chairs working was to say, please. That is the only power word that you have. You have no penalties. You have no cash awards to give away. You have no promotions to give away. And therefore, the only thing that surfaces up is the ability of the leader to connect to that individual, to work with them, to help with them, and to give them a feel-good factor of having performed that task and also having learned something in the process. So the main weapon that you have as a leader in Toastmasters is the ability to help someone to learn some new skill when they play that role, and to learn that new skill without fear of retribution or failure or someone laughing at you for doing it. So, my dear friends, the 2 points that I've made so far are very, very important. One, you can lead here without fear of failure, and you have people supporting you. And 2, it is harder to lead here because the true leader in you has to surface. And if you can get that true leader in you to surface, you would automatically scale great heights at work. And this is very important to understand. So these are 2 good reasons for you to look at. The third good reason to try leadership in Toastmasters is mostly at work, we work on one track. What does that mean? You're either a programmer, or you're in the pre-sales team, or you're in the finance team, or you're in the marketing team, and you get to learn that specific skill, and you're on that single track. And you're a part of that chain. In marketing, you won't learn all of marketing. You learn 1 or 2 steps of marketing. You're in PR, you learn 1 or 2 steps of PR. But when you're in a club, you can actually pick the roles that you want to play, which you would never get through your career path. If you're a programmer, the chances that you get an opportunity to play a PR role at work, where you create a brand, is going to be very less. The chances that you go and influence people to stay and to take benefit of the club is going to be less. It's going to probably work as a singleton person managing a bunch of 10 people. So there are so many skills that each of these roles can give, which your normal role that you have chosen at work would not give, because it would only give one dimension. Very rarely you would have a role at work which gives you, which gives you programming, which gives you sales, which gives you marketing, which gives you interaction with customers, and a whole host of things. Therefore, that's one very good reason for you to think about how to diversify your leadership skills and not be a single track person that you get to do at work. So pick something that you can do in the club, which will supplement what you do at work. And that is a great way to leverage Toastmasters while also adding back to what you do at your workplace. Now, let me quickly give you the roles that are there available for you. The easiest thing to take is that of the Sergeant at Arms. That is something where you are the person who makes sure that all that is required for the meeting is there and is ready. The other one you can do is that of a Zoom master. It's a skill that everybody today in the digital world should know, because at some point or the other, you're running your own program and your own admin. Ask someone like Aniket or I, we run a lot of programs from Zoom, and Aniket will tell you that, guess what? Knowing how to be the Zoom master will actually tell you how to exploit how Zoom works and how you can make your program look attractive. So that's something good to learn. You can be someone who's the treasurer, and you can actually learn how a club manages the money that comes in, the money that goes out. Not many techies get to do this. This is something that you can learn. Even for Crescendo, the toughest job was to raise funds to run the event, and that is not an easy job, ladies and gentlemen. The other roles that you have are the VP membership, wherein you talk to potential people and convince them about what is the value that the club can bring and how we can support them in their journey. It's right from the time they show interest till the time that you close the deal, and also work with them to make sure that they realize the value of the money that they paid. The other one is PR. PR is very important for a club to run. There are about hundreds of clubs in the district, and we as a club want to be seen and amongst all those hundreds of clubs. And therefore, marketing what we do to let others know about the good things that we do is a very important function. A lot of people never get to do this in their day-to-day work, creating posters, creating videos, creating campaigns, running live Facebook feeds, learning how to stream live onto Facebook and YouTube at the same time, and measuring the audience interaction through looking at the stats behind the scenes. All these are great things to learn. The other thing is VP education. So this is where you get to run the meeting, to kind of put the roles together. And lastly, the president's role, where you have to motivate everybody to make sure that they're all interested in the roles and to give a helping hand to everybody. And not only that, to set a vision for what we want to do. So there are wonderful roles like these, and it is for the members to step up for these important roles. Otherwise, the club, no matter how great it is, without these 7 officers, it's like a chariot without the charioteer. So we really need the charioteers, the 7 of you, to be able to run the club. And that is a very important role. So please don't think, oh, what will I learn from this? I am the current club mentor, and I promise you, with the other senior leaders, the other DTMs we assure everyone who gets into a role will have a clear takeaway of leadership and they finish that role. That's something that I promise, continuing to be in a senior leadership role in the club. So do not hesitate. Take the plunge. The leadership is there for you. It is there for the taking. The 7 chairs are waiting for budding leaders in you. Just look inside, close your eyes, take the leap of faith, take that plunge, and the doors to leadership shall be open for you, and leadership will be yours. With that, I'd like to thank the club for the opportunity, and I apologize for taking more than a minute or so off the red card, but I wanted everybody to know what these roles are and what is in it for them. So to recap the 3 things, you can do leadership without anybody, punishing you for not succeeding. Second, to take on roles that you never get to do at work. And third, to be able to create and do leadership by influencing and not with authority. So these are 3 great reasons for you to take up leadership in Toastmasters. And with that, thank you very much for the opportunity. And I hope to see many of you nominating for the elections that are going to be happening around the corner. Thank you.